Hello, welcome back to another episode of MiyaxDogs Meet the Pack. Today's Meet the Pack is going to be about Rogue, or Julie's Rogue de Luna Canis Lupus, as she is on her pedigree. Rogue is a purebred Saarloos Wolfdog. She was born in France and spent the first 5 months of her life there before being imported to the UK. Rogue is 9 years old. She was born in December, on December the 22nd. She is the day before Faye, if you remember Faye, but she is a few years older than Faye. What else? How much does Rogue weigh? Rogue weighs between 30 and 32 kilograms. At the moment, she's probably on the heavier side because she's very much enjoying retirement and is less active than when she was a youngster. How tall is she? Rogue is 29 inches to the shoulder. So from the floor to the top of her shoulder blades, 29 inches. Quite tall for a female wolf dog. And she is, how much does she eat? Rogue eats less now because she's 9 years old. So Rogue has about half a kilo, between half a kilo and 750 grams of complete mixed raw meat. That's 80% muscle meat in protein, 10% offal meat, and about 10% bone. And she has, like I say, about half a kilo to 750 grams a day. The reason that she has less perhaps than some of my other dogs is because she's 9 years old. She is less active, and if she's not careful, she gets a bit porky. So she has to watch her figure, which she's got a beautiful figure, and we would like to keep her that way. What exercise does Rogue need? Okay, well, you know, she's 9. She could and does very happily go on very long walks and hikes with us, but she doesn't need that exercise anymore. She's very happy to just lounge around and sunbathe and watch the world go by because she's a senior dog. But as a youngster, Rogue was a very active dog, very high energy, very active. Rogue liked to do all kinds of sports and agility, particularly with me. We're staying here, we're not going back over there. Rogue liked to do lots of sports and agility with me, but Rogue has never been a fan of strangers, so we had to set up our own active little agility course at home for Rogue to have some fun with that. And she's always been happy to go on really long walks and really long hikes. And she's always loved playing off lead in big fields. She races around. She was more like a greyhound than a wolf dog when she was a youngster. But these days, not a lot. I mean, she likes to go on a bit of a walk every day, but the truth be told, if you're not well or you're not in the mood, Rogue is one of the dogs that you could miss a day's walk with. She's now 9 years old and she's quite happy to just potter around and have a walk around the garden and sit on the couch. What are Rogue's positive traits? Rogue's positive traits? Well, you know, again, this is a senior dog. She's 9 years old. So everything about her is positive at this time in her life. I would say over her life, her most positive trait has been her love of me and her love of us as a family. Rogue is an incredibly loyal and devoted dog, which is very true to the Saarloos Wolfhound breed standard. She is very handler or owner, master orientated, whichever word you want to use is your title. I like to think of myself more as Rogue's companion, but Rogue is very, very much my dog and is very focused on me and wanting to be around me, and is not easily distracted by the rest of the world, although on cue she just saw something fly past. But Rogue is very focused on me as her handler, and we have great connection, and her best trait has been the fact that she's been so devoted and so loyal to me that it's made doing things with her easier perhaps than it would have been with a dog that's less devoted. What are Rogue's negative traits? So this again, it's difficult to put this as a negative trait because Saarloos Wolfdogs are supposed to be a little reserved. They are supposed to be aloof. But Rogue, I feel, especially as a youngster, as a young dog, was exceptionally aloof, to the point where I would say she was actually shy, extremely shy, particularly of strangers and of novelty in general. So the whole world outside of me and her and our little bubble was scary for Rogue, and she was not a dog that you could comfortably introduce to strangers. She was not a dog that could comfortably be in novel or new environments, and that is very typical of Saarloos Wolfdogs. And I think Rogue was more at the extreme end of that, of their breed standard, where she was very reserved. But her saving grace, like we've already mentioned, was how devoted she was to me. And so that helped me work with her, and it helped us develop a relationship and trust where I could take her into novel environments and I could introduce her to new people. And eventually Rogue was able to work as an adult dog at our meet and greet stand that we have in the summer at events and shows, and was able to meet and greet the general public, obviously strangers to her, and be relaxed about it and be happy to do that. She has never in her life, I think, approached a stranger. So she has never, if she's out and about off lead, she has excellent recall because she's so devoted to me. But she's never, if we see someone in the distance, never has she even taken one step towards that strange person. She has always returned to me and returned to her comfort zone. Now that has positives and negatives. It was very positive in the sense that I never had to worry about Rogue getting into the personal space or invading the space of another dog walker or of another person coming to our home. But it also meant that the flip side of that coin was that she was extremely shy, particularly as a younger dog. Rogue took at least 3 to 4 years of consistent conditioning to achieve being relaxed and comfortable in novel environments and being able to meet and greet strange people when asked to do so. She's never done it of her own free will. So that in itself would probably be seen as a negative trait, because 3 to 4 years of training to reach a level of comfort and relaxation around novelty is a long time. For most average dog owners, that might be a little bit too long for people to think, yeah, that's the dog for me. But there are people who feel that, yes, that's the dog for me. People who perhaps are more introverted themselves. People who need that emotional support themselves when entering a novel or new situation. So she wasn't running away and panicking and getting herself in a tiz. She just didn't choose to do it. She would be as close to me and into that comfort zone as possible. And in a way, that was quite reassuring for me too. So when you get to learn a Saarloos, and particularly a more reserved Saarloos like Rogue, you get to learn that whilst you do have to work harder in order to socialise them to novel environments and to novel situations, and particularly to strange people, there is a sort of silver lining on that cloud that means that dog will be usually very devoted to their owner, and will eventually mature into a mature dog at 3-4 years old, where they are able to do all of those things as long as that practice has been consistent. So that's a lot. That was a lot in positive and negative, and I think that's a lot because it comes along with the Saarloos Wolfdog breed standard, and it's definitely something that people considering adding a Saarloos Wolfdog to their pack should really learn about that standard and what that temperament involves, and also go and meet them. I mean, you might not find a lot of Saarloos that are willing to meet you, but hopefully you'll find more mature Saarloos like Rogue that are willing to interact and engage with strangers, so you can have a really open and honest conversation with their owners and with their handlers about the work that was involved to get the dog to that stage. So, is Rogue health tested? Yes, of course, Rogue is fully health tested. She is retired, so she's no longer part of the program, but she has been. So Rogue has her hips x-rayed, and they were scored by the British Veterinary Association. She has a 2 on the left hip and a 2 on the right hip. So in total, that gives her a score of 4. Am I lying? Is Rogue a 2 and a 1? I think Rogue's a 2 and a 1. I think I'm lying to you. She's 9 years old, so I haven't looked at it for a long time. Yeah, Rogue is a 2 on the left hip and a 1 on the right hip, giving her a grand total score of 3 for her hips. Her elbows are 0-0, definitely, so that's perfect, total score of 0. Rogue has got an embark test, so she's been cleared of everything they test for. But Rogue, again, because Saarloos has German Shepherd in the ancestry, Rogue has been tested for pituitary dwarfism. Now, Rogue's parents were also tested, so I knew that Rogue was clear, but she had to be tested again in order to be registered over here with our club. So Rogue was tested for pituitary dwarfism in the UK as well, and that was completely clear. So Rogue is not carrying any hereditary genetic disease mutations, and she has got really good hip and elbow scores, fantastic hip scores actually for a tall dog at 29 inches. And Rogue has had her eyes tested. I think she had it done 4 times in total. They were done every 12 months from her reaching 2 years old. So she had the first test just before her 2nd birthday, and then she was tested every year for 4 years by a British Veterinary Association ophthalmologist, and they look in their eyes for any hereditary problems or any faults that might be there that might prevent the dog's eyesight from being perfect. But Rogue's eyesight was always perfect. She hasn't had it done now for a couple of years since she's retired. Rogue retired when she was 6 years old. Yeah, I think she retired at 6 or 7 anyway. She retired, been retired a couple of years now. So Rogue hasn't had her eyes tested in that time, but we haven't noticed any issues or any concerns with Rogue's eyesight. She can definitely spot that pigeon that just flew over us. I've said the word pigeon. Is Rogue part of the MiyaxDogs program? She was. Not a massive part. Rogue's only ever had 2 litters of puppies, and we did keep 3. We kept 3 of those puppies, and one of her sons is still involved, has just retired. One of your sons has just retired from the program. So yes, we have still got the line. Amy, which we will talk about soon, is the daughter of Faye, but she's also the daughter of Rogue's son, of Roki. So that's why she's very special to us. So yes, she was part of the program, and we did keep the line, the granddaughter of Rogue, And Rogue actually is a grandmother now, I think, to a number of puppies, because nestlings are also carrying on the line with Rogue's with Rogue's grandson. And they've now got their great grandsons and daughters of Rogues over at Nestlings Kennel. Why was Rogue part of the MiyaxDogs program when I told you that she was so reserved, so shy as a youngster? Well, because there were lots of other things that were super positive about Rogue. First of all, that incredible health testing, that super low hip score, whether it be 2-2 or, Rogue, stay with me, whether it be 2-2 or 2-1, I can't remember exactly, but it was super low. It was an excellent, the picture of her x-ray of her hips was absolutely beautiful. It was a fantastic score. And even now at 9 years old, as you know, she's just so fit physically. She's really fit. I'll let her walk round. Come on, Boggy. Round you come. Come. Good girl. And also because, not just because she was so super healthy, but because Rogue was so loyal and loving and devoted and such a gentle dog to own. An extremely sweet, kind, gentle dog. Rogue has always, Boggy, come and sit down. Come and sit down. As a contrary to some of our other entire female dogs, Rogue has always been good with other dogs, all other dogs, all entire other dogs, all females, all males. Any other dog has always been a friend to Rogue, and Rogue has been a friend to them. Rogue is extremely easy to integrate in the pack. And actually, having a wolf dog of any type that has absolutely zero same-sex aggression, she has none, she has no aggression towards other dogs, is an incredibly rare and valuable trait. So that is why Rogue was included in the MiyaxDogs program, even though she was quite reserved and quite shy as a youngster. We knew that they were things that we could work with, because we could use puppy culture program, and we could also help by using techniques to socialize our dogs from being very small and very young and getting used to strangers and novelty around them. Rogue may have been as shy as she was because she was imported from France at 5 months old. And prior to that, her 0 to sort of 5 months old phase was in a show kennel, an excellent breeding show kennel, but it was rural and there wasn't huge amounts of socialization work done in those very early days. So we knew that they were things that we could improve with the offspring of Rogue. We knew that they were things that we could help with genetically as well by choosing fathers to those litters that were not shy, that showed absolutely no reservation towards novelty or to strangers. So both of Rogue's partners in life, one, Upsy, a purebred Saarloos, was actually not like a Saarloos at all. He was an extremely outgoing, quite unusual Saarloos. And to Jack, who was part of our Northern Inuit program a very long time ago, bred by a good friend of mine, Kerry, at Wild Kennels. And Jack was super social and super outgoing, and therefore we knew that in the offspring of Rogue, we'd have a really good chance of improving that behaviour. Anything else we'd like to tell you about Rogue? I think what I'd like to tell you about Rogue is that Rogue has been one of my absolute best friends. For 9 years, she's been my rock, go-to. I've been able to know that I can go out with Rogue anywhere, do anything. Yes, it took some work and it took a lot of time to achieve, but even before that, I knew that Rogue was so devoted to me that she would literally have walked into fire if it was by my side. And to have that love and devotion from any animal is an extremely precious gift. But Rogue has given it to me in just such huge abundance. She's so devoted that it's impossible not to be completely devoted to her in return. She's also been so good with other dogs, with all other dogs, that she's made life here at the pack really, really easy. She has passed that on to her children as well, which is fabulous. And I don't know, she's just been my best friend. She's been with me for nearly 9 years now. She, like I say, she was 5 months old when she arrived. She'll be 10 this December, so she probably has been with me for the full 9 years now. I hope to be with Rogue for many, many more years to come. And looking at the overall health of Rogue now at 9 years old, fingers crossed we are going to keep her with us for a long time yet. Anything else that we've got that we'd like to say about you, Rogie? Just that I think she's absolutely stunning. And finally, that this colour is called Forest Brown in Saarloos Wolfdogs in their breed standard. But actually what it is just that she is liver on her B allele. So she is a small B rather than a big B, which means that she is liver. She's 2 Bs. And it's the liver is on top of a guti. So you get this beautiful phasing of creams and whites and greys into a rich russety red and golden coat. And I think it's one of my favourite wolfdog colours. Let me know what your favourite wolfdog colours are. Let me know if you have any more questions about Rogue and about our programme. And let me know if you've got any questions you want me to add to the Meet the Pack series. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.